Ukraine has reportedly sent the United States an updated plan for ending the Russian war. This, as the American President Donald Trump has laid into the European leaders in the latest sign of a growing transatlantic rift. The first US plan involved Ukraine surrendering land that Russia has not even captured. It was seen by Ukraine and its European allies as caving into too many of Russia's hardline and maximalist demands, and it has since been revised. A Ukrainian official told AFP that the revised plan takes into account the Ukrainian vision, calling it a further proposal for adequate solutions to problematic issues. The official has, however, declined to disclose the details pending the reaction of the American side. But Donald Trump has been pressuring the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to agree to a US plan, swiftly expressed impatience with both Kiev and its European allies. And Trump said that he spoke with the leaders of France, Germany and the United Kingdom about Ukraine in some pretty strong words, adding that the US was no longer spending money directly on Kiev, but instead was selling weapons to NATO allies that then supplied weapons to Ukraine.
We're selling basically missiles and everything else to NATO, and NATO is paying us, and then they distribute it to who they want. I guess they're mostly distributing to Ukraine, but we're not spending money. But you know what we are? We're spending a lot of time and a lot of effort.
On Monday, Ukraine's European allies put on a show of support for Zelensky as they expressed skepticism about parts of the latest US proposal to end the war. Trump further added that the Europeans wanted to hold fresh talks this weekend, but warned that this risked wasting time.
We'd like us to go to a meeting over the weekend in Europe, and we'll make a determination depending on what they come back with. We don't want to be wasting time. Sometimes you have to let people fight it out, and sometimes you don't. But the problem with letting people fight it out is you're losing thousands of people a week. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous.
The tensions remain pretty high on the battlefield. Kiev claims that its sea drones have hit and disabled a tanker involving in trading with the Russian oil as it sailed through Ukraine's exclusive economic zone, the Black Sea, to the Russian port of Novorossiysk. Now, the attack is in fact the third sea drone strike in 2 weeks on parts of Russia's so-called shadow fleet, which are unregulated ships that Kiev says are helping Moscow export large quantities of oil and fund its war in Ukraine, despite the Western sanctions. Now, according to an official at the security